Hello, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the next topic in Calculus AB that you need to know, which is sign charts. So sign charts are used to find things like extrema, both relative and global. They're also used to find points of inflection on graphs, and they're also used to understand and find relationships between the graphs of f, its derivative, and its second derivative. So let's say we're given this function f of x, and we're asked to find where f of x is increasing, where it's decreasing, where it's at a maximum, and where it's at a minimum. We can do all of that and find all of that out using a sign chart. So to make our sign chart, what we have to first do is find the zeros of f prime of x. So first let's take the derivative of f of x. We get that f prime of x is 2x minus 2. So now we're going to set this equal to 0, and we're going to find 2x equals 2, so x equals 1. So for this specific example, we only have 1 0 on f prime. So what we want to do now is take our 0 of x equals 1 and put it into our sign chart. So a sign chart essentially is just going to look like kind of a number line, and we plug in our number from here onto our sign chart. And it's called a sign chart because we're finding at the respective points that we're interested in their sign, that being positive or negative. So what we want to do here is first find a number slightly to the left of our 0. So slightly to the left could be a number like 0, because that's to the left of 1. And slightly to the right, we could use something like 2. So now what we want to do is plug in 0 and 2 into f prime of x. So I should have kept f prime of x here, but it is 2x minus 2. So we're going to plug in 0 to 2x minus 2 and get negative 2. But the 2 is not important in this case, so all we have to write is that it's negative. And in the case of 2, when we plug it in, we get 4 minus 2 is positive 2, but all that matters here is that it's positive. Now, with this information that we found on the sign chart, we can determine things like this. Since f prime is negative when x is less than 1, that means that f is decreasing. And since f prime is positive when x is greater than 1, that means f is increasing. And at the point 1, since f prime changes from negative to positive, therefore f changes from decreasing to increasing, that means x equals 1 is a local minimum. So the reason this works is because when you have a graph of f prime, every point on f prime models the slope of f at that given point. So if any point on f prime is negative, that means the slope of that point on f is negative. Similarly, if a point on f prime is positive, that means the slope at that point on the graph of f is positive. And if the slope is positive, it's increasing. If the slope is negative, it's decreasing. So here's one final thing to help you with sign charts and questions that involve them. It's this pretty simple representation of the relationship between f and its first and second derivative. So when f is increasing, its first derivative is positive. When f is decreasing, its first derivative is negative. When f is concave up, its first derivative is increasing, and its second derivative is positive. When f is concave down, its first derivative is decreasing, and its second derivative is negative. So this graph, or this little table, should help you understand the relationship between each of the derivatives. And then when you're making your sign chart, if you're asked for something like a point of inflection, which is the point where f changes, or where any graph changes from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing, you know that if you have a sign chart of f double prime and it changes from increasing to decreasing or positive to negative or negative to positive, you know that translates to a change in concavity on f. So using this table, you'll be able to understand the relationship between f and its derivatives, and you'll therefore be able to understand and find what you're asked to find using a sign chart.